Corazon Aquino, February 25, 1986 to June 13, 1992. Achievements in the field of science and technology and how it shaped the Philippines as a nation. Introduction. Who is Corazon Aquino? She was a Filipino who served as the 11th President of the Philippines from 1986 to 1992. And guess what? She was the first female President of the Philippines. Her real name is Maria Corazon Cory for short Sumulong Cuanco Aquino. She was born January 25, 1933 in the Tarlac province to a wealthy political and banking family. She graduated from the College of Mount St. Vincent in New York in 1953 with a bachelor's degree in both French and mathematics. Upon returning to the Philippines, she enrolled in law school in Manila, where she met Benigno Aquino Jr., an ambitious young journalist who also came from a family with considerable wealth. The couple married in 1954 and would go on to have 5 children together, 1 son and 4 daughters. There are some achievements that she done in her term in the field of science and technology. In 1986, during Corazon C. Aquino presidency, the National Science and Technology Authority was replaced by the Department of Science and Technology, giving science and technology a representation in the cabinet. Under the medium-term Philippine Development Plan of the years 1987 to 1992, science and technology's role in economic recovery and sustained economic growth was highlighted. On August 8, 1988, Corazon Aquino created the Presidential Task Force for Science and Technology, which came up with the first Science and Technology Master Plan, or STMP, goal for the Philippines to achieve newly industrialized country status by the year 2000.
One of her great achievements was Executive Order No. 128. In 1987, when President Corazon C. Aquino renamed the National Science and Technology Authority into Department of Science and Technology. As an offshoot of such sequential events, the DOST-ASTI was created as a Research and Development Institute of the Department under Executive Order No. 128, otherwise known as the Reorganizing the National Science and Technology Authority, gave rise to giving incentives to Filipino scientists and investors. Republic Act 6655, or Free Public Secondary Education Act of 1988. The Science for the Masses program was intended for encouraging children who had a fascination for science and technology to study for free. It provides free public secondary education to all qualified citizens and promotes quality education at all levels. He established the Presidential Task Force for Science and Technology, ameliorating and considering the status of the Philippines to be the next industrialized country.
Development of infrastructure for science and technological purposes. Republic Act 6655, or the Free Public Secondary Education Act of 1988, opened doors for the free education up to second level implemented in the education system. Together, this was the Science for the Masses program, which aimed at the scientific and technological literacy among Filipinos. The Aquino administration recognized the importance of science and technology in the development of the Philippines into a new industrialized country. Funding for the science and technology sectors was tripled from 464 million in 1986 to 1.7 billion in 1992.
Since its establishment on January 13, 1987, the DOST-ASTI has gained prominence because of its contribution in ICT, microelectronics, and R&D as the contributes for national development and global competitiveness. With the identification of ICT as a tool to help carve the country's niche in the global scene, the DOST-ASTI as one of the government's focal agency for R&D in ICT and microelectronics, has been mandated to undertake long-term researches to strengthen and modernize the Philippine science and technology infrastructure, conduct R&D work in the advanced field of studies, and complement the overall endeavor in the scientific field with intensive activities in the computer and information technologies.
How those accomplishments shaped the Philippines as a nation.
Under the Medium-Term Philippine Development Plan or MTPDP for the years 1987 to 1992, science and technology's role in economic recovery and sustained economic growth was highlighted. The administration of President Corazon Aquino had the same vision as previous plans, the uplift and prosperity of the people. During her term, President Corazon Aquino encouraged scientists and inventors to bring the Philippines to its former position as second only to Japan in the field of science and technology. One of the goals of her administration was to achieve the status of being an industrialized country by 2000. She urged that the private research sector form a stronger bond between public research to help jumpstart the progress in the area of Philippines research and development. She understood the issues faced by the country, hence has she envisioned the decade of progress in science and its technological applications. The history of the developed economies of the world prove this, and the lesson is underscored by the story of the emergence of the newly industrialized countries. 20 years ago, Philippines was second only to Japan in scientific and technological know-how in Asia, and she wanted that position back. The major contribution of science and technology to Philippine nation building are linked to its socio-economic progress and its industrialization. Today, the current state of our country is very low in its capacity to produce local goods for domestic needs as well as in international scientific research publications. Over the years, the emergence of information and communications technology has greatly affected the lives of people in the world, crossing borders among countries and bringing access closer to one another. The same token, the birth of microelectronics has resulted in progress in the development of smaller, lighter, and more efficient electronic devices.